Hey, welcome to the Hell Has an Exit podcast. I'm your host, Brian Alzate. This show is not affiliated with any specific 12-step program. If you or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, please find a local 12-step meeting. If you believe you may need detox or drug treatment of any kind, please call 833-999-1877 to speak to a specialist. The show is sponsored by United Recovery Project, a state-of-the-art drug and alcohol rehab facility. You can visit our website at unitedrecoveryproject.com. Hey guys, welcome to Hell Has an Exit. I'm your host, Brian Alzate. You're listening to episode 72 featuring Roy B. The title of this episode is Then That Needle Thing Happened. This is part 2. So if you haven't listened to part 1, please go back and listen to part 1. It's the episode right before this, episode 71. You won't be disappointed. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. And I appreciate you guys for listening. All right, so your boy...
He gives me the dope.
You just found out your dad dies.
Found out my dad died.
Your boy gives you the 3 bags.
He gives me the 3 bags, and he's like, "Yo, that's on me. Like, don't worry about it. Whatever." Like,
because he didn't have pills, so
no, he didn't have pills. I had pills though. I had a pocket full of pills, but that wasn't my thought process. I didn't want to get high on my own supply. I didn't want to fucking. It wasn't. I wasn't thinking about get high. I don't remember. Like maybe I sniffed a pill. I don't really remember. I just remember him throwing me the 3 bags of dope. I remember going home to my roommate's house. You know, that's all we did. We used to just fucking sniff oxy, sniff coke and shit, and watch movies and shit. And
but maybe you're not an addict.
Maybe I'm not an addict, right? I went home and I sniffed a bag of dope, bro. And it was like I literally went from telling my roommates the story of what just happened and fucking bawling my eyes out. And then, 20, 30 minutes later, all of a sudden the tears aren't coming anymore. And it's like, I feel like I should be crying, but I'm not crying. Mm-hmm. And that's when I was like, all right, this is working. Like, I don't have to fucking feel this right now. And so for like the next couple of days...
You know how people talk about how the first time their ego awoke?
Yeah.
Well, people also talk about the first time they used...
When their addiction
to fix a feeling.
Right.
The first time you're using for a solution.
Right.
The first time you're using to numb the pain.
Right.
I remember the first time I used to escape something that was going on. And I feel like that's the first time that people experience like real addiction,
right?
Or the first time they realize it.
Yeah. Well, see, and even then I didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. It was like all up until that point, it was just get high for fun. Do some X at a party, do some coke, whatever. I could have it or not have it, don't really matter, right? I want to get fucked up one way or the other, but like he died on a Wednesday. His funeral was that Saturday. So for the next 2-3 days, I'm just fucked up all day, every day. Same friend shows up to the funeral, throws me an 8-ball. It's like, boom, that's on me, bro. Like, don't worry about it. And I stay drunk. Now I'm fucking dipping into my supply of oxys, and I'm going off and crushing up a half of one, whatever, sniffing, drinking, whatever. And it's like, bro, like I just start fucking going hard, right? I went to my grandparents and was like, can I move in with you guys? My dad's friend was like, you should move in with your grandparents. They could really use your help right now and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I could probably really use getting the fuck out of where I'm at because I'm paying my roommate's rent with fucking oxys and it's not good, whatever. I never forget, dude, I moved in on a Thursday afternoon and I'd been awake since Sunday morning. I'd been sniffing coke, oxys, and heroin the whole time. I was going to work, bro. I was working 12, 13-hour days as an electrician. Mm-hmm. And I would get delusional. I'd be on the ladder, twisting wires together and start seeing double vision. And I'd have to go down to the fucking porta-john so I could sniff a bag and go back to work, Mm-hmm. That Thursday, I would be on my way home from work and I'd be like, I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to fucking bed. But then you take a shower and you get that second wind and you're like, I'm just going to sit up for an hour or two and watch TV. And then by then, somebody comes in with a line and you're like, boom, boom. And you're up all night and it's all over again. And that Thursday, I remember, bro, my eyes were so fucking black. I went to the grocery store to get a cucumber to try to put fucking cucumbers on my eyes. Because my dad's best friend's wife is coming to help me move all my shit, right? And she shows up and she's like, Roy, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, Linda, I haven't slept in 3 days. Luckily, the fucking AC was out. It's fucking middle of July, I'm like, yo, it's fucking hot as fuck. I haven't slept in 3 days, whatever. I'm like, I remember we stopped to get gas. I'm puking out the side. I'm like, bro, I got to my grandparents' house, moved my shit in real quick, and was like, I slept for 2 days straight. Mm-hmm. Probably got up to piss or whatever, and that was it. The next month, I'm living at their house. My grandma was a nurse who had retired from a hospital and was now using her house as a nursing facility. Mm-hmm. So she had private patients that would live with her round the clock care. And I'm in the medicine cabinet, I find the script of Perks, fucking go empty that out and put in some fucking knockoff aspirin that looks like the Perks.
You're still in.
Yeah. But they're not. I'm justifying in my head because I'm like, yo, if she gives it to them, like it's fucking acetaminophen, it's not going to hurt them. It's just not going to take the fucking pain away, you know? And I'm not stealing the script for me to use. I'm stealing the script because I know a kid that'll give me $45 for the whole script, you know? I was there for like a month and I went to court for that gun charge. My grandpa's retired military who now works at the Suffolk County Jail. Bro, my grandpa would do a background check on you in a heartbeat. My sister has a boyfriend. He's already done a background check, you know? So I went to court. See, in the state of Virginia, it's a Commonwealth state. So, like, even though the individual doesn't want to press charges, the state's going to press charges against you. So even though the person who I stole the gun from didn't want to press charges.
He didn't want
to press charges on me. But the state picked up the case and was like, no, we're pressing charges against him.
Yeah.
So the guy who I stole the gun from wrote a letter to the judge, was like, yo, this is a young kid. He returned the gun, whatever good shit he wrote about me. They ended up offering me a plea deal. Only thing I've ever been in trouble for to this point is a possession of marijuana charge. I'm out on bond for the coke. I've never been convicted. They offered me a plea of, they're going to lower it from a felony fucking grand larceny firearm to a misdemeanor petty larceny. Plead guilty, and my probation runs congruent with what I'm already on. I'm like, all right, bet. So I plead out to that, but my license gets suspended for 6 months. I go to court, I go to work, I go re-up, right? And I come home late as fuck, and my grandpa's sitting up, and he's like, how'd court go today? I was like, it was all right, man. They dropped it to a misdemeanor, petty larceny or whatever. And he's like, okay. And I already have in my head, if he asks about the license, I'm going to lie. He says, did they suspend your license? I said, yeah. I can't lie to him, right? I already know he knows. The next morning, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up mad early and just dip the fuck out, right? Bro, I get up at like 5:36. He's already out there waiting for me. What are you doing? I'm going to work. How you getting there? Somebody picking you up? I'm like, no, I'm going to drive. And he's like, no, I'm going to take you. I'm like, dude, you're not taking me to work, you know? He's like, Roy, your license is suspended. But I'm like, bro, I've only had a license for 6 months my whole life. Like, it's always been suspended. You know, you're not taking me. In my mind, I'm like, yo, you're not going to fucking drive me around to fucking serve people after work. You know what I mean? Like, I got pills that I just re-upped on that I got to get off of. So whatever, we get in a little argument and I leave. I go to work. My boy came to the job site and I fronted him 10. I gave him 10 for 35. He's the only person that I would give a deal to like that. And the only person, 45. Yeah, instead of 4. He's the only person I would give a deal to like that. Or front, because I knew he wouldn't fuck with me. So I fronted him 10 for 35 apiece, said I want my money at the end of the day, whatever. So I get off work and I go pick up my boy Bradley. And I go to Bradley, I'm like, yo, let me take a shower at your crib because I can't go home. And I stop and I pick up a case of beer. I had an ID, my homeboy's ID said I was 25. So I pick up a case of beer and I go to Bradley's house and we take a shower or whatever. And we're about to go out for the night. He's got to go pick up some money somebody owes him. I got to go meet Chris and get the $350 he owes me. Plus he wants a couple more. And we're just going to go serve some people and like have a good night. Bro, we're pulling out the neighborhood. He lives in a good apartment complex, but right across the street is called the Aqueducts. It's a high drug area, right? And 2 white boys ain't supposed to be by the Aqueducts. So even though we're coming from his neighborhood, it looks like we're coming from the Aqueducts. And up there we have like Newport News police officers will ride around on mountain bikes. Like they'll just be riding through the neighborhood like 2-3 deep on a fucking mountain bike, right? So we're pulling out the neighborhood and I see these 3 fucking mountain bike cops like pass us. Whatever, I'm just cruising. I got a beer in my lap. I got 30 oxys in my pocket. I got a suspended license. Let me back this up. The night before when I re-up, everybody that I called was like, yo, I'm good. You need anything? They were all going to the fucking Virginia Beach Amphitheater for the 311 and the Wailers concert. Everybody I called was going to this concert. So I hit up my boy James and I'm like, yo, I'm going to come to the concert. Just come out to get everybody's money, come out to the parking lot and go back in. He's like, all right, I got you, whatever. He gets too nervous. He's like, dude, I'm not trying to come back in with all these fucking oxys, whatever. I'm like, fuck it. I'll pay the admission. I'll go in. Bro, I went in and in 20 minutes, I served everybody plus some, right? I walked in with no money other than the $30 and I came out with like $1,000, right? I paid my dude what I owed him and I bought 30 more. This kid's so fucking high on methadone, when he's counting out the pills, he drops one on the floor. I'm just like, yo, let me make sure to count straight, whatever. I'll get that tomorrow. So I go drop this kid off. So now, boom, back to the next day. I'm driving. These fucking mountain bikes cops pass me. I don't think nothing of them. I get up to the light and I'm waiting to make a right-hand turn. All of a sudden, they must have doubled back because the one cop comes up and like grabs the door. And he's like, yo, put the car in park, turn the car off, license, registration. I'm like, yo, what are you pulling? I got a beer in my lap. I'm like, yo, what are you pulling me over for? And I like reached down and put it like on the floor. And he's like, turn the car off right now, license, registration. And like he's doing the fucking radio thing, right? And I'm like, he's on a fucking mountain bike. Like I'm peeling off. So I fucking hit the gas. I hit the gas. Because the car in front of me had already turned right. So I hit the gas. Boom, I busted right. I'm on Warwick Boulevard. It's like a 40-mile-an-hour zone, right? So as soon as I bang the right, there's a fucking cop car. No, there's no traffic, but there's a cop car driving in the left lane, 2 car lengths ahead of me. So I'm like, fuck. Like, I know he just radioed to this guy, right, that I just peeled off on him. So I'm like, I'm creeping. I'm not going to pass him. I'm in a fucking 88 Honda Civic. Like, I'm not going to dust this guy. I can't get in front of him. So he goes to bang a left. Boom, I bang a right into this cul-de-sac, jump the curb, throw the case of beer out the window, and I fucking dump the car. And my boy's like, what are you doing? I was like, yo, get out and run. So we jumped the fucking fence, whatever. I'm on the back corner, and I call my boy Chris. I'm like, yo, fucking come pick me up. I'm on Warwick and Blaine Boulevard. Come pick me up. So I'm standing on the back of this I threw my shirt. I got a wife beater on. And me and Bradley split, right? So I'm standing on this corner on the back of the building, like waiting for Chris to like come pick me up. And all of a sudden, the fucking cops came from both sides and rushed me, whatever. So I go to jail.
Did you throw your pills?
No, had the pills on me. Bro, because like...
You were just like, whatever. Yeah. I get it. It's okay.
I'm like, this is money, dog. Like I
don't know if you stashed them.
No, because I got a pocket full of pills. They were the generics, right? They were the generic oxys.
The ABGs.
They're not blues. They're the 40s. I forget what they were. We called them the burners, bro. They burn so bad when you sniff them. So
the ETH white ones.
No, they were orange. They were the orange.
Oh, they're 40s.
The 40s. The 40 milligram oxys. But either way, I got a pocket full of oxys, right? They tackle me or whatever, and they're like, yo, why did you run? But I'm like, yo, I got a suspended license. Like, I went to court yesterday, and they're like, dude, we would have gave you a ticket. You know, I'm trying to give them a bullshit story. So while they got me cuffed up and they pulled a pill bottle out, they're like, what are these? And I was like, fucking ibuprofen, bro. And they put them back in my pocket.
That's the best.
They probably would have ran the test on them later and found out whatever. But what happened
was the pill bottle scratched off?
It was a pill bottle with no label on it. We had taken the label off. It was just a fucking empty, no label on the pill bottle. So he puts the shit back in my car. In my pocket. Takes me back up the road, asking me who the dude is. I'm like, bro, I don't know him.
By the way, so this is pretty new because I remember getting pulled over with people and we would have pills on us. And my boy,
if you didn't have a label,
my boy, like, that's my prescription.
Right.
And cops
you could get in trouble.
Sometimes they would let us go. Like, some cops were so like, I don't know,
nonchalant.
They just didn't know that pills were drugs.
Right.
They were like, okay.
They didn't think nothing of it.
My boy would be like, dude, that's my medication. And they'd be like, oh, okay, here.
I told him it was ibuprofen. He just put them back in my pocket. It was like, okay. You know, like I said, he may have ran a test later, whatever. But what happens is when we get back up to where my car is.
They found the pill? They
found that pill that fell on the floorboard the night before that I forgot about. So now they're looking at it and they're like, what'd you say this was? So they run the test. I'm like, bro, it's an ibuprofen. They're like, that's OxyContin. What the fuck is OxyContin? They're like, the shit Rush Limbaugh's. I'm like, who the fuck is Rush Limbaugh? You know? And
that was the thing back in the day, right?
Yeah.
That's what Rush Limbaugh died from.
That was his thing. So I'm like, who the fuck is Rush Limbaugh, bro? I don't know who that is. I go to jail for possession of oxy. I just got in an argument with my grandpa that morning.
About
this shit. In January, I done got arrested for possession of cocaine, grand larceny of a firearm, now possession of OxyContin a month after my fucking dad just died, their son, you know? So like, I'm sitting in jail and I can't get a bond because I'm out on bond. It's a Schedule II narcotic, so it's the same charge as the coke. So I'm sitting in jail for a couple of months waiting. My lawyer tells me, wait till you go to court for the coke shit. Like, get that dismissed or taken care of or whatever, because it's going to look better when we go for a bond hearing. So I'm sitting in jail for a couple of months, whatever. They missed my court date. Like, Gloucester didn't come pick me up, whatever. So I'm like, yo, get me the fucking bond. I got a $500 bond. I got out after a couple of months sitting in there. I go to court for the coke charge. It was a technicality because, you know, like when they do the interview and they only bring one cop in and ask him questions, he's got to leave the courtroom and they bring the other cop in and ask him. Bro, this attorney was so good and he just tripped him up. Like what he said didn't match what he said, case dismissed. Plus they didn't have fingerprints. They didn't have anything on me, whatever. So that case got dismissed. Judge called me an idiot, but he threw the fucking case out. January of 2007, I go to court for the oxy and I pled guilty. So I got 10 years prison, all suspended with 5 years of probation, but I'm a convicted felon.
And this is for the pill and the pill bottle?
This is for all the pills. Possession of OxyContin. No intent to distribute or nothing like that, just whatever. Bro, I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, not even the shit that I got away with, but like the shit that I got caught for, bro. Like I should have done prison time because I know mad cats that got like
Same shit.
way less charges than what I got and got prison. You know, the fact that I had a grand larceny of a firearm and it got lowered to a fucking misdemeanor petty theft. You know what I mean? It's just like,
You
what?
think it had to do with your grandfather?
Now today, I think it had to do with God. I think God had a bigger purpose for me. All the people that were trying to help me, all the people that, you know, I was just like, you're in the way, you know? But when I got arrested, I still didn't know what dope sickness was. Like when I got arrested for that possessing Oxycontin, like I still hadn't experienced dope sickness yet. At the time, I was working at this Holiday Inn, I was doing construction, and there was a guy like across the way who used to sell timeshares and shit and would come to me every day and he'd buy 2 or 3 oxys from me every day so he could get up enough energy to go out and sell timeshares and shit. And he shot me with a Dilaudid. He was like, yo, let me trade you a Dilaudid for an oxy. And I was like, you can give me $20 in a Dilaudid for an oxy. He was like, you want to shoot it? And I was like, yeah. So he shot me with it, bro. I didn't feel nothing from it because I had like 160 milligrams of oxy already. That was the first time I ever shot up, but I didn't feel anything. So I didn't like care to do it again. I was like, what? And I didn't feel like shit. That didn't feel like what shooting a Dilaudid feels like.
Yeah.
Because I now know what shooting a Dilaudid feels like. Kind of get my shit together, whatever. I meet this girl. Long story short, like I'm still selling pills, but I'm not doing them no more. We were together. We ended up having a kid. We had my son in January of 2009. And then the recession hit.
What's your drug addiction like in 2009? Are you like shooting
No,
more?
no. I've never shot. I shot the one time and that was it. I did that one shot that one time and that was it. At this point, I'm just selling pills here and there. Like not even like all the time. I got a plug that every now and again I can get some from and I can get off of them. But now I've been living in like Hampton, Newport News area for like the last couple of years. So like I used to be able to cop and go sit on them. I could sit on 20 or 30 and let somebody come by 1, let somebody come by 2 or 3, somebody by 5. Now I got to get somebody that'll come by 5 or 10 from me. So in order to get them to come across the water, I'll give you 5 for 30 a pop. But I'm getting them for 15 a pop. So I'm just selling them, bro. Like I'll do one every now and again. Nothing crazy.
I used to buy pills from people like you all the time because I'd be like, I need them. And they used to be like, nah, I don't do them like that.
Bro,
I used to be like, what? Like, I couldn't understand what these people were doing because sometimes I'd call them for pills and I'd be like, yo, I'm like sick. I need that shit. And they'd be like, nah, I only have like my head stash. And I'd be like, I thought you don't do them like that.
Bro.
And they'd be like, I don't. And then I'd be like, so why do you need a head stash if you don't do them like that? It was mad weird meeting people that sold them.
But didn't do them like that.
Dude,
I didn't even,
like,
bro, I didn't even have a head stash. I remember this kid calling me like, yo, I'm sick. And I would be like, bro, that shit's in your head. Like I legit thought it was in your head. And he was like, dude, I swear to God, I'll give you $80 for a 40 right now. Chris, if I had a 40, it's all yours, bro. Like I don't have no fucking, like he thought I had a head stash. I'm like, bro, I ain't got shit, dog.
Yeah.
I'll break you off right now. Like I want the money, you know? Like I wasn't using like that. I get high here and there.
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like, dude, I got so addicted. So like anything I do, I'm just like a crackhead with it.
So fast.
Even now as an adult.
Yeah.
Guns, cars, fucking anything I do in my life.
You obsess about.
Cookies, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like people who
You already did one, do another.
Yeah, people say, hey, and then you can't leave with just 2. You got to do 3, and then you can't stop on an odd number, you know?
So we had the kid. Even though I'm not using drugs like that,
You're in the game.
I'm in the game, and I'm places I ain't supposed to be. My sister's ex-boyfriend, that was like a brother to me, like lived in a neighborhood where he was the only white guy in the neighborhood off of Dresden Drive, which is a bad fucking area, Section 8 housing. And I'm over there all the time, and there's people pulling guns out, and we're getting in fights, and she's seeing a bunch of shit that she's not from that. You know, she's not from this life, you know? She tells me stuff now that like I forgot about that, you know, and how it affected her, but I didn't realize at the time. See, like when we had our kid, I'm comparing myself and like how I'm living to how I grew up.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm doing way better than my fucking dad was. You know what I mean? That doesn't make me a good dad though. Just because I don't hit my girlfriend and we have a decent apartment, but like, bro, like that doesn't make me a good dad. Like I didn't know what it meant to sacrifice for your kid, right? And you don't go to certain areas and you don't do certain things and you don't hang out with certain. So we had the kid though, and I've still got her like in the wrong neighborhoods and all this and that. We went out one night. Her parents were watching our son, and we went out to one of her friends' like parties. So I'm sniffing a couple oxys. I'm smoking mad cigarettes, right? And I lost my voice. because of excessive drinking and smoking and the pills or whatever. And I lost my voice. It was nothing. It wasn't contagious or anything. She took my kid to go stay with her parents for a week while I was sick. And she would come over every day and like make me soup and make sure I was straight, whatever. And at the end of the week, when I was like better, I was like, yo, you guys can come home now. And she was like, no, I think we're going to stay here for a little while. I was like, yo, what are you talking about? You know? And mind you, I'm 22, I'm 23 with a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. Like nobody there with me. So like, even though she decided to stay at her parents' house, she would come over, like when I got off work, she'd come over with my son, hang out for an hour or two, and then she would take him to her parents' house to put him to bed. Bro, it's 7:00 at night. Like, I got nothing to do for the rest of the night. So my boys would hit me up and be like, yo, can we come through? And I'd be like, not right now. I'm with my kid. Hit me up in an hour. After she leaves, I got no responsibility. It's like, yo, come through. So now I got my friends coming through like, yo, can I cook up in your bathroom? Yeah, whatever. And people are breaking me off.
And people doing heroin?
People are doing roxies. People are doing oxys. And my boy's cooking crack. He's smoking crack. I'm not smoking crack with him, but like he's cooking crack in the bathroom, whatever. But he's like, yo, can I come cook up in your bathroom and I'll break you off with 3 pills? And I'm like, yeah, come through. Like, I don't got shit else to do, so come through. The feeling that's going on right now is the same feeling of when I lost my dad. Everything that matters is gone now. Whatever, get high. And even then, like, it still doesn't take an everyday hold. I remember Father's Day. It was June, and I went to see my son. She only let me see him for like an hour and a half. And was like, all right, you got to go now because like it's Father's Day with my dad. And I was like, all right. So it was like, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm leaving from seeing my son. I got nothing to do for the rest of the day. So I hit up my boy like, yo, what's good? He's going to his dad's house, barbecue, whatever. So I go to hang out with him. And there was this girl with him. He was like, yo, do you want to talk to like this chick? I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm single now. Like, me and her are split up. We're like done, you know? So he pulls up and there's this girl in the car. And bro, I take one look at her and I'm like, absolutely not. Like, this bitch is strung out, bro. She looks like absolute dog shit. There's no fucking way in hell. Like, what are you talking about, you know? And they're all shooting up dope, you know? They're shooting, you know? Like, I sniffed 1 bag of dope and that's it. And like, I don't know, a couple months later, he hits me up for some oxys one night and he takes me to like this girl's house and it's that same chick, but she looks totally different because she's clean now. She's not clean, but she's not strung out, you know? And so me and her hook up and we exchange numbers or whatever. And then this is where my shit like really goes the wrong way. So like, I remember she hit me up on like a Monday and was like, yo, can you get anything? I was like, yeah, I got you. What do you want? She came through and bought like 100. I was buying it by the gram. So she bought like 1.5 grams of fucking dope, right? And she's like, she bought it, but then she's like letting me do some of it. But I don't got to pay. If she would have said like, hey, do you want some of this? I'd have been like, no, I'm good, you know? But we're doing it all, right? I'm throwing up, dude. I'm so fucking high. I'm throwing up. Like I'm sniffing. I was just sniffing. I'm puking, right? The next day she hits me up. We hang out again. She buys dope. I'm fucking throwing up, right? Well, I knew her girl had oxys for 15 a pop. So Wednesday I got paid and I'm like, yo, tell your girl I need 20 oxys and get me 3 bags of dope. While she's upstairs getting the shit, I'm lining up to get off of it, right? So she comes back, we start driving. I sniff 1 bag of dope, I give her a bag of dope. Like 20 minutes down the road, she's like, yo, let me get another bag. I'm like, nah, chill. She's like, let me get a pill. I'm like, we just sniffed something 20 minutes ago. She's like, no, let me get a pill. I'm like, bitch, give me $30 fucking dollars. She's like, 30? I just got them for, I'm like, I have them sold for 30. Yeah. So either give me $30 or you ain't getting shit. I don't know what you're doing, but like, I'm getting my money back. Like, my goal is to take my money and double my money, not to fucking just blow my money, you know? She was married and her husband had bought their house like a month or 2 prior to this, right? And this is 2009, the recession. So Obama was doing a thing to try to stimulate the economy. First-time homebuyers were getting $10,000. If they were a first-time homebuyer, you were getting $10,000 stimulus check or whatever from the government. So she got 10 grand and went through that in like 2 months. We're hanging out every day. She's buying dope every day, whatever. And now this is the first time in my life that I experienced dope sickness. So like I went from, you know, I'm sniffing 3, 4 bags a day. It's not doing shit for me. My boy was shooting up. I saw him shoot 1 bag. And I know he's got a tolerance more than me. And he was rocked. And I just sniffed like 3 bags and it's not. I was like, yo, hit me one time. And he hit me. And bro, I shit you not, my dick got hard. I swear to God.
Really?
Bro, he hit me with that shot and it was like, I mean, my shit ain't get hard, but my shit got chubby as a motherfucker. You know, I'm like, damn, bro, that shit felt good, right?
Yeah.
And it was still like I was scared to like, okay, I don't want, because he's bad, like, and I don't want to get on it every day like that. But then, you know, I'm doing it every day and it's not, so then, boom, the needle thing happens. Bro, once I found that needle, everything went in the needle. I never sniffed anything ever again.
Wow. How old are you?
24 at that time. So me and her together for like a year. I had this, dude, I knew I was so bad and like had gotten so bad, bro. Like I got this new job and I was like starting it on Monday. And I was like, yo, I got to get off the dope. Like I'm going to lose this fucking, I just got this job and I'm going to lose it right away if I'm fucking dope sick or whatever. And it was like building cell phone towers or something. They work 15-hour days. It's in the hot sun, whatever. And like I needed to change the brakes and rotors on the fucking car. And like her friend bought us all new brakes and rotors. I just needed to put them on. And like I spent the whole weekend shooting coke all weekend that I never did it. So Monday I'm like driving to work to Virginia Beach. I got to stay way the fuck back from everybody and like pull the e-brake and like go super slow to like stop. And the fucking brake caliper on the front side like shot the fuck out. And I'm like, nah, I got no brake at all, no brake pad at all on this right side. So I call my mom's boyfriend.
You're driving with the e-brake.
Yeah, e-brake all day. So I'm dope sick. I'm like I shot coke all weekend to like mask being dope sick. So I'm on day 3 of dope sick on Monday, which is the worst day for me. 3 and 4 is the worst. On the way home, I'm like, yo, I'm stopping to get a bundle of dope. Cause at this point, like I'm getting dope and I'm paying like $70 a bundle and I'll sell it for $15 a bag or I'll sell it for $125 a bundle. I call my mom's boyfriend and my boy Matt and I'm like, yo, I'll throw you 2 bags of dope to change the brakes and rotors for me when I get home. And they're both like, bet, we'll do it, whatever. So I pull up to the crib, Matt's there, but my mom's boyfriend's gone. And it's like, sun's going down, whatever. I'm like, you know what, Matt? Here's a bag of dope. I do a bag of dope. Let's go do the fucking brakes and rotors. So we jack up the car and he's on the passenger side and I'm on the driver's side. We both take, you know, he takes that wheel off, I take this wheel off, we're whatever. And it's fucking, I took the brake caliper loose, but like the fucking rotor wouldn't come out. And my leg is under the car and the fucking jack broke. And the car falls on my foot. Now, mind you, both wheels are off. So the bumper's on the fucking ground. I'm screaming bloody murder. Matt's like, yo, what? And he comes over and starts grabbing on the fender to try to lift up. And I'm like, he goes to like set it back down. He's not lifting it up. You got to go so far to lift through the spring and get it off. Obviously, he can't lift the fucking car. But when he goes to set back down, he's relieving 200 pounds of pressure, whatever the fuck he's lifting. And I'm like, dude, you can't set it down. And so we're screaming top of my lungs. It's fucking 8 o'clock at night. It's dark.
Your foot?
It's on my foot.
Oh my God.
I'll show you my foot, dude. I have scars all over my foot.
Oh my God.
So we're screaming at the top of our lungs, whatever. My girlfriend comes out. They run across the street, banging on doors to get neighbors. Dude, I like started to like pass out. I just remember like coming back to, and there's like 20 people around the car, picking the car up. And I didn't have the energy to like get myself out. Somebody snatched me and pulled me out. And they're like, and I'm like, get the fuck off of me. And I hop up and I hop on my right leg in the house. And I was like, load 4 right now. You know, I'm going to do a shot. So I'm in there trying to get right, and the fucking cops are banging on the fucking door. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hold the fuck up, whatever. So they take me to the emergency room in the ambulance, whatever.
You got off?
Huh? Yeah, I got off. It didn't do shit, though. I'm in so much pain. You know what I mean? It ain't doing nothing. As soon as we get to the hospital, I tell my girl, load more, you know, and it's just not doing nothing, bro. Like, nothing is taking the pain away. Dude, nothing took the pain away. I was in the hospital for 8 days. They had to lacerate. They had to cut my foot open, like 1 here, 2 across the top, and a huge one right here on the side of my foot that was like, bro, it looked like a fucking horse's eyeball. Like, it was so big. Because what happened was my muscle tissue and nerves took the impact of the car falling. I had a slight fracture across the top. It's like basically the transmission was like sitting on my foot, just the weight of the car for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
So I have a spot right here on my leg that this was dead skin for like 8 months.
Wow.
It took 8 months for this shit to heal. They wanted to do like a skin graft. Bro, I used to just shoot coke and I'd be in there fucking picking at it with tweezers and I would clip the edges with fingernail clippers and then I would put peroxide on it. It was, bro, you know how you could pull a scab and the shit will like pull off and reheal? This, you would pull it, it won't come off. Like it's dead skin. It will not come off.
Wow.
I would just pick at the edges. I'd be fucking coked out of my mind and I would just pick at the edges and gradually I worked it down. Dude, the only thing that took the pain away when I was in the hospital, my boy brought some coke and I shot coke and my whole foot went numb. And then all of a sudden my fucking heart monitor shit's going off, and I'm hitting the button to try to come down on the Dilaudid, like, and they come in like, well, I don't like, I'm in severe fucking pain, you need to bring me something, you know? And I finally convinced them to get me off the fucking Dilaudid drip and give me oxy. So when they would come they would give me 2 20 milligrams, and I would cuff them under my tongue. And when they would leave, I'd go in the bathroom and shoot them. Bro, shit was just bad, bro. And then like the girlfriend, she came to Florida to go to rehab. This is how I end up in Florida. So she goes to rehab. She's like, I can't do this anymore, blah, blah. When I got out of the hospital,
I can't believe you could even walk.
I had to relearn how to walk. I was on crutches for a while. Bro, I was kicking in doors on crutches. You know, robbing people's houses on crutches, one leg kicking in. Bro, it's nothing to kick in the door. Bro, crazy story. So she was a fucking orthodontist assistant, right?
This is the girl who got you all blown out.
This is the girl who got me all blown out. So she's an orthodontist assistant at the time. Her girl that we used to get dope from, she's up there and that girl lived in like a hotel to hotel all the time. So she's up there one night, and the dude that comes in, her plug is one of her patients. Like his son is a patient at the orthodontist office. He comes into the orthodontist office like, yo, I ain't know you got down like that. Like, here's my card, call me, whatever. He's supposed to be a sergeant in the military. So I go to see him. Now I'm buying his dope to use, and I'm selling this dope, because this dope over here that I'm selling stomped on. His shit is raw. It's fire, right? But he won't come down on price. He tells her he wants to meet with me to talk to me about, you know, setting some shit up. And I'm like, what's good? And he's like, yo, like, you could take this, you could sell it for 30 a bag, da-da-da-da. I'm like, nah, bro, like, what are you going to do for a bundle? Like, I pay 75 a bundle. I sell for 125 or 15 a bag. Like, what are you going to do for a bundle? He's like, bro, it's $20 a bag all day, da-da-da. But you could cut that shit in half. I'm like, I'm not doing that, bro. Like, if you, whatever, we get into it.
Why didn't you want to cut it and sell it?
Because I wanted him to come down on the price. I wasn't paying $200 for a bundle of dope. He tells me,
even if it's fire?
It was fire, but no, I'm still trying to get him to come down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, I got to do too much. So then he says, now mind you, we're in Hampton. I'm taking this dope across the water to a place he doesn't know to sell to these fucking country rednecks, right? He's like, here, man, I promise you, you take some of this shit and just let them try it, and they'll fucking let them try what? I'm not paying for the dope to take as a taste test.
Yeah.
Are you giving me something to take for people to? He's like, I tell you what, I'll follow you over there. We'll meet them at the food line. And then fucking like, if they like the shit, you come to me. I don't want to meet them. I don't want to deal with. I'm like, bro, you're not chaperoning me on a fucking dope deal. What are you talking about? He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go over there. I'll take that whole shit over. I'll run that whole shit. So now, and he's from New York. So I'm like, who the fuck are you? You not coming to my neighborhood to sell nothing, right? So now I got it in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to rob this motherfucker. I'm talking to my sister's ex-boyfriend who I says, like, I'm like, yo, Nick, I want to lay in the bushes and fucking rob this motherfucker. Like, yo, when he came in to talk to me about that shit, he had mad dope on him. I know he had at least 7 racks on him. We can rob him and take everything in the safe. And he's like, bro, you just had a kid. I just had a kid. Like, what if something goes wrong? He's the one that's like, bout it, and he's talking sense into me.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you know what, you're right, you know? So I was like, I dead it down.
Nah, bro, you should have called me.
I'm talking to
like
a couple
good
of people.
plan to me.
Bro, this one dude that I worked with is like, yo, I got some kids from Charlotte that'll come up here and lay them down for you, and they'll break you off. And I'm like, no, I want to be in there. I ain't trying to get broken off for 500.
Like $20.
Yeah, no, I want to know what it is. So it's right before Thanksgiving, and he's leaving to go out of town. He's like, yo, I'm going up north to fucking re-up. He's like, if y'all want anything, come see me because I'm going to be out of town for a few days, whatever. So we go see him to get our personal shit, whatever. He leaves. It's like right before Thanksgiving. So a couple of days go by. It's like Saturday.
This is exciting for me.
We're calling him, and I'm like,
brings me back.
I'm like, yo, where? I tell her, because I don't talk to him like that. She does. I'm like, yo, call him, see where he's at. He's like, I'm not back yet, blah, blah, blah. I got some new shit for y'all to try. Chill the fuck out, da, 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 da. So Sunday comes around. And dude, the dope that I'm using, that I've been selling, but I'm now resorting to using because it's all I got, is trash. So I'm like, I'm calling my guy, like, you stomping the fuck out of this shit, bro. Would it, you know? And I'm like, yo, call him and ask him, is anybody at his fucking crib that can take care of us? And he snaps on the phone. He's like, ain't nobody at my motherfucking house. I told you I'm gonna be back tomorrow. I got some new shit for you to try. Stop blowing up my fucking phone. Nobody's at my fucking crib. Boom, click, right? And she's like, yo, let's go break in his door. I'm like, he went to re-up. There's nothing at his crib. She's like, yo.
I was thinking the same thing.
She's like, yo, all that American Dream shit. Because we got the wax bag stamped. He's got Black Widow, American Dream, Diet Pepsis, whatever. He had this one batch called fucking American Dream that he hadn't gotten off of. She's like, yo, I'm telling you, we can go get that, whatever. So I pull up to his crib. He lives in like a big apartment complex. I go knock on the door, and I got a screwdriver and a pry bar with me. And I go knock, and I know look for the bag of rice because he kept his shit in a. You know how when your phone gets wet, you put it in a bag of rice to keep the moisture off. They keep it in a bag of rice to keep the moisture off. Knock on the door, make sure nobody's home before I kick this fucking door in. Nobody comes. So I take the pry bar and I start prying it, but it's like I can't get the door jammed to quite. The deadbolt's just barely. So I kick the door in. I run in. I shut the door.
Are you on crutches?
No, I'm not on crutches at this point. So I shut the door back and fucking. I'm looking around. Before I go, I have this plan that I'm going to go in, I'm going to find the dope, I'm going to find the safe, I'm going to find all the money. And as soon as you get in, you know, I got my long sleeves pulled down so I don't touch nothing. And my fucking heart's running. So I'm like, I want to get in and get the fuck out. But as soon as I get in there, I see a pill bottle, pick it up. I see OC40. Boom, throw that. I know I got something. So I put that in my pocket. I'm looking through the kitchen. I'm looking for this bag of rice. I don't see anything. I'm about to dip. Fuck it. I got the oxys, right? And last second, I see this grocery bag tied up in the top corner. I grab it, bag of rice. Boom, throw it under my shirt and I fucking dip. Boom, hop down in the car too, throw the shit to her and I peel out. She starts pulling, bro, there's 19 and a half bundles of dope in there.
Fire.
I got 38 40 milligram oxys. This is on a Sunday. By Friday, it's all gone.
Was it the American Dream?
It was the American Dream. It was still decent. It was better than the shit I'm selling, right? 38 40s, 19 and a half bundles, which is 19 and a half grams, okay? From Sunday to
Just
Friday.
so people know, 0.2s are selling for like what, $30?
Yeah. Well, a bundle is 1 gram, so each bag is 1/10 of a gram. So it's 0.1 for a bag. And they're selling for 20. I'm buying them from him for 20 a pop. But it depends on who you get your shit from, whatever. That's what I'm saying. He would not come down on the price. That's not resale. Like, I'm paying top dollar, but it's really good shit that's not really cut like that. But I got 19 and a half bundles of dope, 38 oxy on a Sunday. By Friday, it's gone. By Friday, I've sold
now 13. Is he calling you, blowing you up, thinking that it's you?
As soon as we leave there, we go to Burlington Coat Factory parking lot. We shoot up. We get right because we're dope sick. So we get right. And as soon as we get right, I'm like, oh my God, I feel sick. And I tell her, I'm like, listen, we have to keep calling him. He's going to know we robbed his fucking house if we don't blow him up and act like a junkie who needs some shit, right? So I'm like, yo, we'll wait a couple hours. We're going to call him again and be like, yo, where are you at? Da, da, da. So she calls him again, straight to voicemail. Like 2-3 hours later, we call straight to voicemail. 2-3 hours later, call again, straight to voicemail. Her girl, who he was the plug for that we used to get from, she calls and she's like, yo, did you hear what happened to Shorty's house? When he got to the crib, fucking cops were all around his house and da-da-da. And we're like, what the fuck, right? Now, we know he's supposed to be a sergeant in the military. We're like, what the fuck? Like, did he get arrested? Whatever. Bro, the next day, Monday, 20 some odd indictments dropped all across Hampton and Newport News of this huge drug ring. They had a 2-year investigation going on. Her girl got arrested. 3 other people that we know that sold dope through him got arrested. It's public record. You could see whose names are on the fucking court records of who got arrested. We know his real name because he was a patient at her. His name's nowhere on the fucking list. So was he an informant? Was he a police officer? What I think happened was when we kicked the door in, they were like, okay, like somebody just kicked your door in, it's time to pull the plug. That's why he wanted to follow me to chaperone watching me make drug sales. It was just like, what the fuck, bro? My mindset, when we got the dope, like obviously I was dope sick and wanted to get right, but my mindset is, this is all profit. If I get off this 19 bundles of dope and I get off all these fucking oxys, bro, I'm going to have a couple grand. I go buy a safe. I stash all my shit in the safe. And her thought process is, why are we going to sell it all just to have to buy it back? And
That's my whole mentality.
I'm like, bitch, bro. I don't want to be on it. What are you talking about? You know? Bro, then it just runs into this sick thing of like, she's doing it all. I'm not going to let you do it all. You know what I mean? So then I'm doing whatever. Talk about dope sick, bro. I was dope sick after doing all that. You know, I think we sold like 5 bundles and I sold like maybe 10 or 15 of the pills. All the rest, between the two of us, we had done all that. So now I'm like real dope sick. I'm willing to do whatever, bro. Like I'll ski mask up and fucking crawl down the beach and fucking break into vacation homes and whatever. The worst is one night I broke into this vacation house and they didn't have anything, bro. They had the fucking old ass TV. They had a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 3's out at this time. You know, like there's a pack of Newports and like a fucking cabinet of liquor. And I don't know about you, but the last fucking thing I want when I'm dope sick is liquor. You know, it was just like the most defeating, devastating blow. So whatever, man. She comes to Florida. She asked me, would I wait for her? Like, if I go to Florida for 30 days for treatment, would you wait for me? And I'm like, yeah, I love you, blah, 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 whatever. So she came to Florida, I don't know, a week or 2 in, you know, the counselors and the therapists, like, you probably shouldn't be talking to that guy. You know, she like stops talking to me. She's like, I really can't talk to you anymore, whatever.
The
And
audacity.
I'm like, yo, you're going to leave me out here in the streets? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't have insurance. Like, I can't go to treatment. Like you acting like you're better than me now, whatever. Oh, so the dude that we were selling the dope with, the last day before she left, we went to him and I was like, listen, bro, like, if I come to you from here on out, it's just going to be for a little bit of personal to get myself off the shit. She's going to treatment. I'm done selling. Like, I'm not selling shit no more, whatever. You know, she leaves in the first like 2 or 3 days. I try that. Just go buy 2-3 bags just to get myself right. I'm not serving nobody. But a monkey can't sell bananas. You know, because at this time, I'm living at my mom's house. My mom's boyfriend is my foreman at work. He's letting me leave the job site to go cop, and I'm serving everybody at work. So Monday through Friday, I'm fronting them all a bag or two. I won't let them get too in the hole because you're going to give me my money Friday. So all throughout the week, I'll front them a bag or two throughout the week, and they pay me on Friday, and then they all pitch in because it's $15 a bag or it's $125. So they all pitch in and buy like 2 bundles on Friday. So now that I'm like, yo, I'm not selling, they're like, we're in the car and they're like looking at each other, and I see them through the rearview mirror, and I'm like, what's up? And they're like, yo, we know you're not like fucking with it no more, but like,
can you give us the plug?
Well, can you hook us up? Because I'm not giving them the plug, you know? And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, I'll make $50. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to make $50. Monkey can't sell bananas, you know? I go there, not fuck it. I could throw in 20 and I got a whole bundle, you know what I mean? So it's just a bad situation, bro. And then, you know, I did the classic thing of like, how do I get over one? I get with the next. So I start dating this other girl to get over her because she just broke up with me, you know? And then all of a sudden she like 2 weeks out of treatment, like calls me like, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck you want, you know? Like I'm with somebody else. And she's like, you didn't wait 2 weeks, da, 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 da. So then she's like, I'm like, come back home. Like I'm not coming down there. She wants me to come here. And so she's like, if I buy you a plane ticket, will you get on the plane and come to Florida? I'm like, yeah, if you buy me a ticket, I guess I'll get on the plane. I get locked up for the dope boy, right? I set up a deal with him one day and I felt like he skimped my bag. Cause this dude, like I'm selling dope for, but he's also an addict too. So this one day I pick him up, he's got this bullshit story and I felt like he skimped my bag. So when I pull up to his crib, he gets out of my car and jumps off running. He tells me that his car got impounded and all this shit, whatever. So I start driving through the neighborhood and I find this car. He's blowing my phone. I answer. I'm like, yo, what's good? Why am I looking at your fucking car right now? He starts laughing. I'm like, oh, you think it's funny? I grab a baseball bat, bow, I bust his back window. I just peel off. Cause dude, I'm really trying to get clean. Like I'm trying to like dead the shit with him. Fuck it, I'm out. I'm driving her car. She's in treatment, right? So I don't want nothing to happen to her car because I don't want her to know I'm still using. So I dip my car off at work. I dump it in the parking lot at work and I have somebody pick me up and take me home. He's blowing me up like, yo, why'd you break my car window, da 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 da. Like, yo, either fix my window or my girl's gonna call the cops. I'm like, yo, fuck you, whatever. Bro, like a week later, Virginia Beach police are looking for me. I call him, I'm like, yo, did you call the fucking cops? And he's like, my girl did, bro. It's her car, blah, 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 whatever. The Virginia Beach police want to talk to me, and I'm like, they're trying to, whatever. Long story short, I go turn myself in. I'm playing that whole game. And then I'm like, you know what, fuck it. He's the one that called the fucking cops, right? I'm like, yo, you talking about Jose? They don't even know who that is because it's an alias, right? So then they tell me, so they're like, what happened? I'm like, listen, bro, we got an altercation. I broke his fucking window out. I dipped. They're like, and then what? I'm like, I fucking left. What do you mean? They're like, at what point did you pull the gun out and rob him? I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you broke his window and then you guys got in an altercation and then you robbed $62 off of him. I'm like, bro, I don't have a gun. Like, what are you talking about? Bro, they dropped 4 fucking indictments on me. Felony, monumental damage, brandishing a firearm, use of a firearm in commission of felony, armed robbery, right? I never robbed this fucking guy. So I go to jail. I go to Virginia Beach jail. And this is the first time. I thought like when I went to jail and they do your fucking intake and they have you meet with the nurse and they're like, you know, do you benzos or alcohol? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm addicted to heroin. They're like, when's the last time you used? I'm like, fucking 2 hours ago. You know what I mean? I'm going to go through withdrawals, da, 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 da. And they're like, all right. So I'm thinking they're going to put me in a fucking detox unit or something, right? I've never been to detox, but like I've seen shit, right? And I'm like, all right, they're going to put me in the medical wing and like put me in detox. Bro, they put me on suicide watch. There's no metal rack. They give me a mat that's not your normal thick mat. They give me a mat this fucking thin, bro. There's no metal rack. I'm on the concrete floor. The lights are on 24 hours a day. I'm going fucking nuts. I'm asking every nurse, like, please get me the fuck out of here. Like, I told you guys I was going through withdrawals to like be kept comfortable, and you put me on a fucking concrete floor or whatever. they're not listening to me. And this one nurse finally listens to me. I'm like, I've never had a seizure in my life. I'm 3 days fucking detoxed. Please get me the fuck out of here. If you don't get me out of here, whatever. She's like, I'm going to go down and do your paperwork right now. Bro, she leaves and like all of a sudden the fucking lights go off. Brr, 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 the alarm. The dude across the hall from me bit into his fucking arm. There's blood everywhere. I'm not getting out of here. So when I got arrested in Broward and they asked me if I was coming off anything.
You said no.
I said no. I'm straight. You know? And then I wound up in General Pop and they were like, yo, why didn't you tell them you were on fire? Yeah. You know? Whatever, man. Like the girl, she comes to Florida, she goes to treatment, she buys me a plane ticket. I got my first sponsor before I ever got on the plane. I was still using.
Who got you the first sponsor?
My girl. So
she was like, yo,
she had been down here, she got out of treatment and she started getting plugged in. Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of people at the 12-step house, Serenity by the Sea Clubhouse, like all that. She had met like a bunch of people, whatever. She was working in a phone room or some shit. Mm-hmm. And there was this one dude, Charlie M. He's got like mad time. He's got more time clean than I've been alive. Mm-hmm. He got clean like October of 85. Like 2 months before I was born. He's from Coral Springs area. You might know him.
He's got burns, right?
Yes. You know what I'm talking about.
He's the man, bro.
Yeah, he's the man.
I haven't seen him in years, bro. He's a fucking hell of a dude.
He's a good dude. So he starts like, bro, I'm like shooting dope on the couch, like talking to him from VA before I come here.
Yeah, that's like the perfect guy.
And I mean, I fucked him over bad. Coming down here, I gave a dude a bundle of dope for 5 Suboxone. Mm-hmm. So when I came to Florida, I had $1,000 cash. I had 5 Suboxone. And everything I owned in a duffel bag. And I'm planning on like kicking myself. Like I come here and I'm thinking that the girl's clean the whole time. Bro, and like the first night that I'm here, like I gave my money to the fucking halfway manager because like they know I'm going to chill with my girl for like 2 days and then come move into halfway. I gave him the money to like hold my bed. And like, bro, the first night she's like smoking spice. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I thought she's trying to get me to bring dope down. I'm like, bitch, I've never even been on a plane before. I'm not bringing fucking heroin with me. What are you talking about? Like, I thought you were clean, you know? Bro, she's drinking, she's smoking spice, all this and that. And like, bro, she's in my ear every day talking about getting high. And I'm like, yo, the fuck are you talking about? Like, I didn't just leave everything back home to, like, I could have stayed where I was with selling dope
real
and doing
drugs.
the shit, right? Yeah. The fuck you talking about, you know? And bro, it's like day 2 or 3. And I know that like I need these 5 Suboxone to last me. So like I did like a half of one day 1, a half of one day 2, planning on a whole one day 3, a whole one day 4, you know? And like the one, dude, she's rocked. And I'm like, yo, you're fucking hot. She did half of my Suboxone. Like, why the fuck would you, I need that to fucking, you know? I don't know, bro. It was like, I ended up mustering up like 8 days clean. 6 of them were on Suboxone. So they're not really clean days. And she's in my ear every day talking about getting high. At this point, I've been here for a week, right? 3 days in Florida, I got a job. You know, yo. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
From the rooms, 12-step house. That's how we roll. Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I got a job with him, right?
I forgot that you've been here this long, bro. That's crazy.
2011.
Yep.
That's how we roll. What that is.
Yeah, who that is.
Who that is. So I got a job with him. I'm like a week down here. At this point, like, I know Oakland Park Boulevard. I know like a little bit of, so I had my halfway roommate drop me and her off at the beach. We're walking down A1A, like commercial. And she's like, what about that person? I'm like, these are tourists. We need to get to Oakland Park Boulevard and fucking go inland. Like, this is not the area, whatever. So, bro, like, I'm coming over the bridge and I see this kid, his hair's all fucked up. He's got pajamas on, his fucking, and I'm like, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
And I'm like,
1000%.
yo, what's good, bro? I'm out of town, whatever. This is supposed to be one time get high.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be one and done, leave me the fuck alone, whatever. This dude's on the way to meet his girl with a script of Dilaudid's that she doesn't have the money to get out of the pharmacy. So he's like, yo, I bet if
sponsor me.
We pay $65 and she gives us 30 of the Dilaudid 4s, the D4s.
And you're probably like, what planet is this?
I'm like, bro, like, this is supposed to be one day. Dude, we're now like, I'm trying to shoot them as fast as I can to just get them over. I'm going back to halfway. Like, I'm going to have to take a drug test. You know what I'm saying? And like, I come down here with the mentality of like, bro, I came here to get clean. I don't want to meet nobody like that. I don't want to know nobody like that. This bitch is at DMV like, yo, what's good? You party? You know, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You know? I hit my 30-day mark and I was supposed to get like my overnight and they were trying to buck on me about my overnight saying like I owed some. I'm like, bitch, I paid fucking I paid my deposit every whatever. So they gave me my overnight and then Charlie was like, yo, why don't you guys just move into my crib? And he let me and my girl move into his crib. He doesn't know that I've been like really using this whole time. And at this point, we got somebody that lives right off of fucking Sandalfoot Cove up in fucking Boca that we're getting blues from every fucking day. And this is when blues are 12, 13 a pop. They might have been like 15 or some shit like that. And dude, we're just full blown. You know what I mean? I was in Broward for 60 days. Charlie went to the spiritual retreat in the Keys, right?
Left you at the crib?
Left us at the crib. He didn't know we were using. Bro, I was like...
Still, I ain't letting nobody stay at my crib.
Charlie was having the fucking... I was in the sponsee family. We were having the sponsee meetings and the whole nine, bro. I'm itching like a motherfucker. We got her car shipped up here and she totaled it on 95. So when he left to go to the Keys... for whatever reason, he left us his Cadillac to use, like while he was out of town. Dude, we're running up and down the road getting dope the whole time he's gone. But when Charlie went to the Keys, he turns his phone off. Like he totally checks out. He's there for the spiritual retreat.
Wow.
I got arrested that Saturday in his whip and for possession of heroin. And that's ultimately like what kept me in Florida. You know, I got arrested for that, went to jail, sat in jail for a while. Nobody would bond me out. Yep Yep is the only one that could get me out. He let me sit for like a week or two before he wanted me to detox before he got me out. Sure. And then I was wide open, dude. It was like, I got here end of February 2011. My clean date is August 2nd, 2013. So like 2.5 years. I was ripping and running down here.
Wow, you used to here for 2 years.
Yeah. Bro, it got so bad. Like,
try to go to meetings in between?
No. No.
Just
when I first got here,
but then
I went to meetings.
Okay.
Charlie took me to meetings, halfway took me to meetings, whatever. And bro, I remember it like it was yesterday. There used to be the sunrise room, right? The little couches and the candlelight joint. I remember this like it was yesterday, bro. I just got into Florida. I'm on a Suboxone in the meeting, you know, and I shared some shit about, man. First of all, I didn't realize how many people come from out of state to come here.
You thought you were the only one.
I thought that was like, me and my girl did that, you know?
You guys invented that.
Me and my girl, like, I got VA tatted on my hand, bro. Like, I'm 25. I just left my home state, you know what I'm saying? Like, I left everything back home. I'm serious about this shit.
Man, I even came all the way here to get clean.
And I never forget this kid. His name was Eric. At the time, he had 6 months clean. I remember like it was yesterday. He was like, man, he's like, bro, I'm from here, born and raised here. I left here and I went to Bippus, Indiana. He said, what the fuck is a Bippus, Indiana? He said, bro, but it don't matter because I took me with me and I found myself in a bathroom smoking crack. Like, it don't matter where you go, you take yourself with you, da-da-da. And this is shit that is foreign to me. All I know is you're talking shit, it seems like. So after the meeting, I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? You don't know me. You don't know shit. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? I still got that, like, attitude,
mentality.
right?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, dude, when I got clean, when I came back around this last time, he was picking up 2 years clean. And I was like, damn, bro. The same kid that had 6 months
is still here.
Is now, you know, or it might have been 18 months. He was picking something like that. And I was like, yo, he's still here. Bro, like my addiction took me to the point that like I hung myself in Coconut Creek. You know, I was living off of Hillsborough Boulevard in between Lions and Powerline in this complex. And bro, at the time, you know, my girl's a server. She works as a waitress. So she makes cash money every day. I'm working for Yep Yep. I make $80 a day. I make $80 cash a day. I don't get paid every day, but I get $80 a day. Whether it's 6 hours or 10 hours, I make $80 a day to work in this Florida hot ass sun, doing the same shit that A Touch of Bliss does right now for $80 a day. Dope sick every day. If I'm lucky, I got something to take with me in the morning to kind of get me through. Bro, I'm taking the fucking Powerline bus an hour and 15 minutes to get from Hillsborough to Broward Boulevard to the downtown terminal, to walk to his house, to go to work for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, to take a bus an hour and 5 minutes home, to fucking get high for the night, to finally feel some relief and do it all over again the next day. And it was like every day just arguing with her like, yo, I'm done. I'm not doing this shit. Like every time we would get kicked out of one place and move to a new neighborhood, I'd be like, I don't want to fucking know nobody here, bro. Like, I don't want to meet nobody. And she, as soon as I come home, she'd be like, yo, he sells blues. He's got coke. He's got... I'm like, what are you doing, bro? And this one particular day, I told her, I was like, yo, I swear to fucking God, like I'm done. I'm not getting high no more. And as I was walking up through the neighborhood, I saw her come out the front door. And I was like, where are you going? She was like, I'll be right back. You know what time it is. I'm like, where the fuck you? She's like, I'll be right back. I'm like, yo, I didn't even walk in the house, bro. I turned around, I went to this kid Corey's house. Corey and his whole family, there's like 9 of them that lived in this one double wide trailer. And they didn't have electricity. So at nighttime, they used to take this 100-foot extension cord and run it to the laundromat that was right there and plug up for electricity at night. These are the winters that I hang out with. During the day, they would pull it up so the complex wouldn't know that they had to, they were stealing electricity. So I was like, yo, Corey, let me get that extension cord. I need to borrow it real quick. He was like, yeah, it's right there. So I took the extension cord back to the house, threw that shit around a tree branch 2 times, went inside, grabbed a chair, came out, stood in the chair, stood on the back of it as high as I could, tied that shit around my neck, and kicked the fucking chair. And my feet were hanging this high off the ground. You know, I just didn't want to live no more, bro. Like, it had gotten to that point, and she happened to come around the corner, like, right as and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And like, and I'm like, bitch, let me go. Like, bro, if this is what my life is, I don't want to do this no more, bro. It's been years now. A couple of years now I've been doing this. I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror no fucking more. I left my son. I turned into everything minus the molestation part, but I turned into everything that I fucking hated about my father. I become a shell of a fucking human being. I just don't want to live no more, bro. And like, she wouldn't let me go, so I got down, I went in the house, and I got high. And I wish I could say I got clean after that, but I didn't. You know, then I moved from there to Oakland Park. I used to live in this fucking trap house down there. The windows were all painted over. The fucking, it was just bad, bro. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And I always say that, like, God did for me everything that I could not or would not do for myself. I can look back now and see all the opportunities and the chances and the people that he put in my path, but I just wasn't willing to, you know. One of my favorite speakers says, like, I have no more access to God than the guy who's getting high right now. The only difference is I'm choosing to walk towards God and he doesn't want anything to do with him. Like, I don't have any more access than he does. We all have the same access. When I got clean, bro, I didn't have a relationship with God. I would denounce God. There is no God. If there was a God, why does this happen? Why does that happen? Blah, blah, blah. You know, what I understand for me today is, like, in the beginning, it was a group of drug addicts was my God. It was the fact that I wasn't dumb and I was aware that, like, I felt like God had put certain people in my path for a reason. And I knew that there was, like, I knew I could go to you and be like, yo, man, I'm fucking struggling right now. Like, I don't know what to do. And you were going to tell me, like, a solution. You were going to tell me, like, fuck it, let's get high. It just got to a point, man, of, like, going to jail over and over and over again. You know, like, I violated probation again. When I got clean, my clean date, I've been up all night smoking crack, shooting Dilaudid and shit. I shot a Dilaudid. And I went to go to work, and I fucking got in a hit and run on Broward, right there, Broward and Federal. And I fucking took off. It was a cop's wife that I fucking hit. Wow. Turned out to be. And she's fucking following me. So I'm dipping, whatever. And I dump the car, and I jump out, and I'm running on foot. And the cops caught me, and that's my clean day. I've been clean ever since then. When I went to jail, I just had this feeling. I told the girl, I was like, yo, I swear to God, bro, like, I know God didn't save me this time to keep doing the same shit. Like, either get clean or go to halfway. We had gone to halfway, and the most clean time I'd had up to that point, I got 6 months right before this last relapse. And that was the most time I'd ever had. When I came in and I heard you people talking about, like, multiple, bro, forget about 10 years. The guy that talked about 6 months, I was like, you ain't do nothing? There's no way. There's no way. I'd never seen somebody that used like me or came from my neighborhood or did none of it. I'd never seen an example of somebody who got clean. And then there was this one kid, Ronnie, who when he moved into the halfway house, he had dope sick tatted on his knuckles. And when he moved in, he had these knots. Dude, they had me as house manager with like 45 days clean, right? And this kid, Ronnie, moves in and he had this knot right here and a knot right here. And he's like, bro, this shit hurts so bad. I was like, bro, you were breaking crack down with vinegar and shooting it, weren't you? He's like, yeah. I was like, bro, trust me. I had him. Just rub it out. It's gonna go away. Like, you're good, you know? And I knew Ronnie got down the way that I got down, right? Yeah. So when I got out of jail the last time, Ronnie had like 10, 11 months clean, but it wasn't just the time. It was like
his whole demeanor.
Dude, everything about it. I was trying to talk to him about, like, while I was in jail, she ended up, the girl that I've been with for like 4 years, she ended up with cellulitis in her foot from an infection from shooting up. And like her family came down and took her back to Virginia and she's gone. And like the day after she left, this girl from Holly's place fucking came to see me at jail. And I'm thinking about, like, I should just move on to like a fresh start. And he's like, you totaled your car, you lost your job, you violated probation, you're facing prison, and the first thing you want to talk to me about is like, what girl you should fucking, like, what are you doing? This is the same dude that like 6 months ago was on chat roulette waving his dick at every girl that popped across the, you know, I'm like, I thought you were the guy to talk to about the girls, you know? I was like, yo, what happened to you? And he's like, yo, I got a sponsor, man. Like, I work, and I was like, yo, can you sponsor me? He's like, nah, bro, like, we're friends, but like, I got a guy for you. And he gave me the guy's number. It's like, yo, call the guy. I'm telling you, he'll take care of you, right? And I don't know what it is about that. If I was looking for dope, Ronnie, yo, what's good? Can you? And he said, no, I ain't got nothing, but I got a guy. Here's his number. Without hesitation, I'd have been like, yo, what's good? Ronnie, never met you. Don't know what you look like. I'd have been
Wouldn't feel awkward.
Wouldn't feel awkward. Yo, what's good?
Would go to your house and throw rocks at your window.
Yo, come outside.
Pull up to your crib.
You know?
Yeah.
Ronnie told me you could take care of me. What's good? But I couldn't pick up the phone. And again, see, for years, people have been telling me to leave that girl. And I would say, I can't, bro. Like, if I leave her, she's going to get raped or robbed, killed in the street, bro. I'm not leaving my girl out here. I love her. Bro, you don't love yourself. You don't even know what it is to love you. And I didn't understand that, because the fact of the matter is, like, okay, I have a son. I have 2 sons now. I have nieces. These are innocent children, right, that I love and I care for. And I will do anything and everything I can to protect them and keep them from harm's way. When I learn to love myself, I'll do anything and everything I can to protect myself and keep myself out of harm's way. If I ever saw my nieces like hanging out with the kids I used to hang out, I'm going to do everything I can. Like, yo, you shouldn't be around here. You shouldn't be talking. You know what I mean? You know, I couldn't leave the girl. I wouldn't leave the girl. Boom. I go to jail. I wouldn't leave the job. That job that I was working for $80 a day, dude, I'm working 60, 70 hours a week. Charlie used to argue with him and be like, when's this kid going to go to a meeting? Like, when's this kid going to have time to do fucking step work and sit down with a sponsor? Bro, I would be so miserable, dude. I remember I had 33 days clean. And I'm like, all I do is I go to work. I go home just in time to like take a shower, hit the 8:30 meeting. I'm home for 10 o'clock curfew, go to bed, wake up and do it again tomorrow. I would try to trick myself and be like, you know what? I got another day clean. But dude, all I'm doing is accumulating days clean. Like, I'm not recovering. I would go to meetings and go to the step series meeting and try to hear what you guys were talking about and figure out how to try to like apply that in my life, but like without actually sitting down and working the steps. You know, you always do the gym reference, and I do the same thing where it's like, dude, okay, if you go to 90 meetings in 90 days and that's all you do, it's like if you went to the gym for 90 fucking days and all you did was walk around the gym and talk to everybody, and you know the manager and you know what every fucking machine in here did, right? But you didn't lift a fucking weight, bro. You didn't change your diet. You didn't do the steps that were required.
Break a sweat.
90 days are going to go by and you're like, how come I don't feel different? How come I don't look different? Because you ain't even done any work, bro. You just been coming here every day. Bro, like I wouldn't call Jay. Wouldn't call Jay, whatever. And all of a sudden, the phone rings and dude's like, yo, what's up, man? Ronnie gave me your number, told me like you were looking for a sponsor. And at the time, I'm on community control house arrest. So like, he's like, I want you to come to my home group. And I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, I have to go to 12-step every night because I'm on community control. And he's like, all right. So then like he ends up coming to the halfway house. And he wasn't allowed in the house, but he was allowed in the garage. It's hot as balls in the garage. And he would come to the halfway house once a week and sit in the garage with me for like 3 hours at a time and like read literature and like go over shit with me and like talk to me, you know? And this was the first time that I had, in that experience, this was the first time I had somebody that would come and sit with me and like do some shit. Because every other time it was like, here's 76 questions, go answer them by yourself. And I would procrastinate and just like wouldn't do it, you know? The community control was like one of the best things that ever happened to me. I mean, I've been on probation. Dude, I've been on federal probation. I've been on state level probation. I've been on local probation. I've been on color code system where I had to call every fucking day. And if my color came up, I had to go take a drug test. And I used the whole fucking time. I used to go to Walmart and buy a pack of, I'm not going to say what it is because I ain't going to teach nobody how to pass a drug test. But I used to buy this shit, $3 a box. You get 2 packs. I would steal it because I wouldn't even pay for it. You drink the shit. It doesn't clean you out, but it masks to where you get a faint line that pops up. I'd be in there itching like a motherfucker passing my drug test. Probation never kept me clean. It never. And that's like on some step 2 shit where it's like, yo, humans have the power to like get me clean. You can arrest me. You can throw me in detox. You can put me in a basement. You can keep me from it for a period of time. But humans, in my opinion, lack the ability to keep me clean. We can rely on other humans and stuff like that. But it's like, yo, that's just my experience, man. It comes from something above. For the first time in my life, man, you know, I go to jail. I'm tired of hearing the dude tell me about how to stay out of jail. It's like, bro, you're wearing the same fucking jumpsuit I am. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't want to hear shit you got to say anymore. You know, it's just like I woke up, you know, like I'm tired of hanging out with losers. I'm better than this. Like, I know I'm better than this, you know? And once I started taking guidance, man, and listening to people, once I went to 12-step and seeing guys like you, younger guys that made this shit look fun and appealing, I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, maybe this is the cool thing to do.
Yeah, we were just talking about how like meetings down here are not how they are all over the country. Like, bro, the meetings down here are fun. There's a bunch of young people. There's some good-looking girls. People fucking playing basketball, you know, together. And, like, we were going to conventions and the spiritual retreat. Everyone goes to the beach together. Yeah. And it's like, you know, these people are at this halfway house or whatever. And, yeah, like, some fuckery goes on. But there's a whole group of people staying clean.
There's a whole bunch of people staying clean. Bro, when I went to halfway, all right, so I went to Bark Detox one time. I didn't stay clean after that. That's my only, like, treatment
okay,
experience, right? Every other time I detoxed in jail, including my last time. there's part of me that's like kind of jealous. I'm like, damn, bro, I wish I could have bro, if I had that insurance card and could have went and stayed up for 30, 45 days and just chilled and ate ice cream. Bro, when I went to Bark, my girlfriend was like, this is a shithole. I'm like, yo, they gave me a PB&J and a juice box for the snack before bed. Like,
I went to Fort Lauderdale Hospital, and the first time I went, I thought it was like, I couldn't believe that this was here the whole time.
No.
Because I used and born and raised in Broward, and I had this was here the whole time.
And you never knew about it.
I went in there, bro. They gave me, like, they did it properly. They gave me subs. They gave me food. Like, I was like,
dude, everything you need.
Dude, there was years where I'd be dope sick, suicidal, shitting myself, running to fucking Publix to go steal NyQuil, to think if I, like, drank NyQuil, I'd go to sleep. And dude, like 1,000 times, I could have just walked into a detox.
You could have just walked into, you could have laid there and watched movies in between group.
We didn't have movies, but yeah.
Yo, I had the DVD on lock. I was like, when we had to do group, it was like, don't touch the fucking DVD player.
Did not have DVD. They had a fucking plexiglass TV that only played like Jerry Springer during lunch. And that was it. But yeah, I mean, there's been times where I've gone into treatment centers, brought in like an H&I meeting to like, have a speaker come in. There's times where I've almost started crying because I just started thinking about how, like, when I was in treatment,
when you were there,
nobody came up to me and said that you're an addict.
Right.
And nobody said that you can get clean. No one said like, hey, I'm an addict too. It just, like, I never had that. And there's times where you're in treatment and like kids are complaining, they don't want to listen. It makes me like, I've gotten emotional times, like having that flashback of like, bro, I would have done anything. Bro, it didn't have to be a young person, didn't have to be like a hot girl, anybody to just say like, hey dude, you're an addict, I'm an addict, it's gonna be okay, and you can get clean.
When they talk about the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel, right? It's like nothing else can compare to that.
Yeah.
I'd been court-ordered to substance abuse counseling, and I'd go to these classes. I had court-ordered classes with a counselor, whatever, and my first question would always be, have you ever had a drug problem? And they'd be like, no, but I'm like, how the fuck can you tell me why I'm doing what I'm doing when I don't know why I'm doing, and I don't want to do what I'm doing? When I got out this last time on community control and I had the substance abuse class, that counselor, she wasn't an addict. But bro, the way she talked, her daughter or somebody very fucking close to her was, because she understood at a level. And I was like, bro, this lady gets it, dude. Like, she understands. And I remember when I was in Bark and they brought H&I in, I remember two people specifically, Max F came in, and Noodles, right?
That's what's up, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Noodles. And when she came in, she reminded me a lot of my sister. I remember when they came in to do the H&I, right? I didn't know what H&I was. I remember thinking like, yeah, I wonder how much they get paid to like come in and talk to us. I want to do that when I get out. I want to go and take, because I thought it was like a gig you got paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always, whenever I do H&I, I say, I do not get paid to be here.
No, bro. It's like somebody hitting you up like, yo, you want to come speak for me? Yeah, I'll be there, We go and do that because somebody did it for us. And I know that everybody, listen, bro, I love going to meetings. I pay attention. I focus. I listen. I try my best to give the speaker my full attention. And that's just me personally. And it's because, dude, there's times where somebody's speaking about some shit that I don't relate to, is nothing for me, but I know that person's story needs to be told because that person's story is touching somebody that my story won't or can't. Everybody's story needs to be told. Everybody's story relates to somebody else. It hits. My man Roscoe used to tell me, he's like, dude, going to a meeting is like going to the grocery store, bro. Make a list of what you need to get out of it, get it out, and leave the rest of the bullshit on the shelves. Like the drama, the chaos, the whatever. Bro, stay the fuck out of it, dude.
With work, anything,
that's with anything,
bro.
Dude.
Church, all that shit.
Take care of your shit. There's been times, dude, where I'm not gonna lie, bro. There's been times where like I'll ask myself, like, am I really an addict? Ever since that girl's been gone, like, I've been straight. I'm 36. I'm a grown-ass man. I think I could have a fucking beer now. I think I could control it now. One, I know that's most likely my disease because it centers in my mind, trying to convince me it'll be different this time. I firmly believe that, it started out as fun, and maybe at one point I did have control of it, but I crossed a certain threshold that I can no longer come back from. Since I've been in recovery, dude, my life has gotten exponentially better. As long as I'm going to meetings and I'm doing this stuff, bro, the relationships I have today, the comfort I have, the ability to go into a room and talk to anybody, I'm not afraid of shit no more. You know what I mean? Like I used to walk around this big bad tough guy that thought like, you look at me the wrong way, I'm gonna pop you in the mouth. Dude, that's fear. Because I'm afraid of what you think of me. And if you talk to me the wrong way, I'm afraid of what my girl's going to think that I let you talk to me like that. When I used to hear people say like, oh, it takes a bigger man to walk away from a fight. I'm like, oh, you're a pussy. Like, what do you, that's it. Bro, it takes a bigger man to not allow somebody else to dictate my emotions and my reaction. And that shit all comes from working the steps, bro, doing inner work on yourself.
And it's like, there's a certain way to be where like you don't get into altercations.
Right. You treat people with respect, you get respect.
It's like, you know, bro, when I see like someone has like some bad energy, just stay away from it.
Right.
Like I can already tell there are people I ain't gonna fuck with.
Right.
Because I don't want to get wrapped up into their bullshit. Right. Bro, I haven't been into a fist fight since I've been clean.
Me neither.
You know, so it's like there's a lot of shit that just gets automatically fixed. Right. There's some character defects.
I don't go in neighborhoods I ain't supposed to be in.
I don't gotta look over my shoulder. Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm not arguing with people over petty stuff anymore because I'm not in those situations. Like recovery taught me how to hang out with the winners. Right. Just like with working out. Right. Bro, you hang out with people who are stronger than you, that know more about working out, and you hang out with them and you learn shit from them. And like, same thing with spirituality, bro. You hang out with people a little bit more spiritual than you. People are more calm and like, even positive people. Like, dude, we were talking about Carl. Like, Carl was the first guy that I started hanging out with who, when we would go to meetings, on the whole way there, he'd be talking about, yo, you know who I love? Yo, you know who's really awesome? Up until that point, I only hung out with people who'd be like, yo, you know who sucks? Oh, I hope this person ain't there. I hope this person's full of shit. And I didn't even realize it until I started hanging out with somebody who didn't do that. When he would like think about gossiping, he would be like, you know what? Let me not gossip. And I never heard nobody do that before.
Like,
you
what?
know? And I knew he'd been to prison. I knew he could whoop somebody's ass. Right. So I knew he wasn't like a pussy. You know, there was times where there would be some fine ass girl who I thought was fine at the time, you know, hollering at him and he'd be like, yo, she don't have a year clean. I was like, you're gay. You know what I mean? I was like,
what is wrong with you?
I was
He's
like,
still gay.
You don't turn down some fucking girl. Like I don't care if a girl was fucking hideous. I would still holler at her, like, whatever. I'm not
What's
gay.
good?
Yeah, you know? So it's like, I didn't understand that like he had standards and boundaries. And that's where I learned how to really be a man because like a speaker once said, like my whole life I was concerned with being the man instead of a man. Right. And it's like I learned how to say no to situations. And I learned how to stay away from situations. And I learned how to enjoy being alone. And I learned how to be with myself and take myself to dinner and go play. And not always have to be with somebody all the time.
You know what's crazy is I was with that girl, right? Boom, parents take her back. I started a relationship right at, and they tell you don't get in a relationship for your first year or whatever. I started a new relationship with this girl that had come to visit me in jail right after, right? And I get with this girl and I'm with her for like 2 years. I get in a motorcycle accident in 2015. Break my hip, my femur snapped completely in half. My arm broke in 3 places. I've got 3 plates in my arm, a rod in my leg, whatever, dude. I wake up in the hospital 5 days later, don't know what happened. And if you think I didn't take pain medication, you're tripping, right? But the difference, when I woke up, that was the first thing that I was concerned with. When I woke up out of this like induced coma or whatever, they came to give me pain meds and I was like, absolutely not. And they were like, what? And I was like, dude, I'm a fucking recovering addict. Like I can't. And they were like, you're going to have to take this, you know? And I like called my sponsor and I had like people that came and helped hold me accountable. You know, I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks and I went home. My roommates like had the script and they would make sure like every 4 to 6 hours. And then when that 2 weeks was up, I was like, that's it, I'm done. And when I showed up to physical therapy, I was on crutches and they were like, bro, this is the crazy thing. I used to be embarrassed about recovery, right? I used to be ashamed to tell people that I was in. So when I show up to physical therapy, they're like, how the fuck are you not on pain meds? And I was like, listen, I'm a recovering addict. Like I used to be an open, I'm not going down it, whatever. For me, just being open and like sharing my shit, my physical therapist follows me into the hall. This is after about 2 weeks of me going. Follows me into the hallway and is like, Roy, I need to talk to you. I found some weed in my son's room and I found some other stuff and I'm not sure what it is. Bro, this lady literally didn't know who to talk to. And because I shared my shit, she knew she could talk to me. Bro, literally, I go to the barbershop yesterday. I had to get my barber's out of town. I needed a haircut. So I go to the new guy, whatever. And I'm just like, boom, talking about my shit, right? I don't talk to everybody, but like if it comes up, they ask me whatever, I start talking about it. And this kid's like, yo, I got like a month and a half clean off of alcohol, bro. Like I had to get Baker acted last month. And bro, at the end of the cut, he was like, yo, it was a pleasure meeting you, bro. Like, thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing your shit. You know what I mean? Like, you never know who your shit's going to touch. But
so crazy.
I say that to say, back when I got in that motorcycle accident, like I was on top of the world, bro. I had a good job. I was making good money. I just got my bike painted. You know what I mean? New fairings, new paint job. I had a Gixxer 750. it was black and gold. You know what I'm saying? Like I just decked the bitch out, you know? I got hit on Marina Mile, you know? I wasn't doing nothing. Bro, I went through the stop. I was at the light, went through the light. Dude ran a fucking stop sign out of where the Big Lots and shit is, ran that stop sign out there and clipped me. The crazy thing is Charlie M comes and picks me up. I just gotten on crutches. Comes and picks me up and takes me to the St. Francis when it used to be over there off of Andrews. Takes me to the St. Francis Friday night candlelight meeting. Now, this is the first meeting that I'm going to since before the accident. And he's like, yo, I want to come. You need to get to a meeting, da-da-da-da. This is the end of August. My clean day is August 2nd. So whatever, we go to the meeting, whatever, and there's a couple of medallions going on, da-da-da-da. And Charlie's not sitting with me. He's like sitting, whatever. Charlie ends up giving me my 2-year medallion. Like, I didn't know he was going to do that. And he, like, told everybody, like, this guy got in an accident. Da, da, da. And I told everybody, I was like, listen, if you think I didn't take meds, like, you're tripping. But, like, I took them the way they're supposed to. I did not get high. You know what I mean?
Abuse them, whatever.
I did not abuse them at all. I had people hold me accountable with that. And the craziest shit, bro, is, like, the whole time I'm in that meeting, when we get out, we're leaving out, this dude comes up and he's like, yo, when was your accident? And I'm like, July 10th. He's like, oh, where? And I said, Marina Mile. He's like, dude, I think I'm the one that hit you.
What?
He had been sitting next to me the entire, like, there was a space in between us the entire meeting. And I was just like, what the bro, I didn't know how to process it, to be honest with you. I was just like, at the time, first of all, I didn't realize how fucked up I was still going to be. Here it is 7 years later, and I'll have this deformity in my arm for the rest of my life, chronic pain, whatever. At the time, I'm like, I'm still learning how to, like, use my hand, learning how to walk again. And you're telling me that you're the one that I just didn't know how to take it, bro. And, like, thank God, like, everybody who hadn't seen me since before the accident, yo, what's up, da da da, and it kind of just distracted, but it was like a God moment. And I realized, like, yo, that guy didn't have to come up and say nothing to me. I never would have known who he was, you know? But, like, dude, after that accident, that girl that I'd been with for like 2 years.
Was he drunk?
No, he wasn't drunk. He just ran a stop sign, didn't see me or whatever. But the girl I'd been with for like 2 years, she relapsed. She started drinking. I always ask guys, like, it's one thing when you're like on top of the world. What are you gonna do when shit hits the fan? I leaned on the program. I leaned on the people in the program. I called people. I cried, snot running out of my face. Dude, my life was in shambles. Like, I just lost my job. Well, I didn't really lose my job, but the owner I was running the halfway house, and the owners were getting high, smoking crack. I just totaled my fucking bike. My girlfriend's fucking using. I'm crippled. I used to always say, like, people would be like, yo, what if you die on that bike? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be afraid to live life and have fun. You know what I mean? If I die, I die. Bro, you might not die. You may be a paraplegic for the rest of your life. And when you have to have somebody fucking put you in the shower and bathe you, and you have to have somebody empty the fucking shit bucket next to the bed for you, like, it's humiliating. And you start thinking about shit a little bit differently.
I don't ride no more.
Bro, Miles was fucked up, dude. Like, in that moment, like, I thought my world was falling apart. And I was at my 2 years clean. From my 2 years clean to my 3 years clean, bro, I went on a fucking rampage. It was just like, back to the old, like, best way to get over one is get with somebody new, you know? And when you talk about, like, the addiction, right? It's like, I'm not using drugs, but I'm fucking obsessing and compulsing. Oh, girl hits me up at 12 o'clock at night. You want to hang out? And now I'm going to hang out with her until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleeping in late. I'm late for work. My life is as if I'm using. Yo, where you been at, dude? We ain't seen you in days, da-da-da-da-da. And I hit a spiritual wall where I was like, dude, I can't do this no more. I tell guys this all the time of, like, a sponsor put me on a relationship ban. I know you're afraid to be alone, da-da-da. I'm like, bro, I ain't afraid to be alone. I've been alone before. You know, what are you talking about? I looked back and I was like, yo, for the last 10 years of my life, I've always had somebody that I was at least talking to. When I feel like this big and I feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world, I've got somebody to send me a little kissy heart emoji to be like, good morning, babe. Hope you have a good day. Thinking about you. Make me feel like it's just a little bit better about myself. Matter. Just that question of, like, oh, do you got a girl? No, but I got somebody I'm talking to. The empowerment that I received from going on a relationship ban, I ain't interested in nobody. I'm not with nobody. Bro, finding who I am. Best thing I ever did, bro. You know, and then I ended up meeting my wife, you know, like the following year or whatever. I ended up, we started it, and I took it slow with her, you know, real slow. Like, yo, I got my home group. I got home group Monday night and Thursday night. I go to halfway. 6 out of the 7 nights a week, I'm at halfway from 10 o'clock until 1 o'clock in the morning, chopping it up with the guys. Bro, halfway was like the frat house I never went to. Yeah. It was just like, boom, chopping spades, like, you know what I mean? While she might have thought that I was just over there bullshitting, I was really over there, like, watching body language, looking at, I'm a human drug test, bro. Like, and I was just doing my job, but it was like, I have certain things that I'm not going to push aside anymore. And we took it real nice and slow. Bro, the relationship that I have with my wife today, I'm like, everything in life though, it's like, yo, if I would have got what I thought I wanted, I sold myself so short, bro. When I first came to meetings and I heard guys talk about, today I live a life beyond my wildest dreams. I was like, bro, you rode a mountain bike to this fucking meet, you know? Because I thought my wildest dreams, a dope car, a dope house, if I had that girl, if I had that money, if I had that job, like I would never. And it's like, bro, a life beyond my wildest dreams today is the fact that I have great relationships with people. I have people that I love and care for, that love and care for me. I know how to show up for people today. When people say that, for me in the beginning, it was foreign. I know today I get to be a brother. I'm like, I've been a brother since I was born. What are you talking about? You know, like I was never an only child. But today I truly get to show up. Today, when my grandfather dies, I'm able to tell my mom, don't worry about it. I'm on the next flight home. Not, well, Mom, can you send me some money? Because, you know, can you send me a Westie?
Excuse to get high.
Use it as an excuse to get high. You know, it's like, dude, like I get to show up and be there for the ones that matter. You know, I caused so much. We all did, bro. We were tornadoes in our families' lives. I'm grateful for Florida. I'm grateful for people like yourself.
Thank you.
My predecessors, the people that came here before me, the people that kept the doors open for us. You know, if everybody, like you say all the time, dude, and it rings true for me. Like if everybody got clean, got their shit together and left, there would be nobody to help the next person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about running back into that burning building. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why H&I is so important. Like I had this thing with like Harriet Tubman. I'm always like, bro, she didn't just leave and was like, oh, fuck it,
She
I'm
just saved
free.
herself.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, and mad people did.
Right.
A lot of people did. A lot of people are like, yo, I'm out. Who cares? You know, but like it takes somebody to like risk their freedom again and their life again because they can't sleep at night knowing their brothers and sisters are still enslaved. Right. So it's like, you know, even like the podcast, like the shit I do, like, bro, I'm not a saint. I'm not trying to save everybody. But I really enjoy seeing people get clean. Dude, I know this girl who's not even in recovery. I used to hook up with this girl. Never once thought she would even like listen to the podcast. She's not even like an alcoholic. She's like, I started listening to your podcast. I stopped drinking. I was like, why? She was like, I don't know. I just don't want to drink anymore. Right. I was like, she's like, I'm listening to all these spiritual books and you were talking about the 4 agreements on there. And it's like, you know, to me, it's like, you know, carrying the message. And because, bro, I was so misinformed my whole life. Yeah. It's like, bro, there was so much misinformation.
We were misinformed by misinformed people.
My whole life, bro. What I thought a man was, what I thought like being cool was, you know, like, yeah, bro, I could go out to the club and do all sorts of shit, which I do sometimes. Right. But like doing this, it's like, dude, ain't nothing better. Ain't nothing better than there's something different between something that is fulfilling. Right. Because a lot of times when you ask people what they want when they're getting clean, a lot of people say, I want to be happy. Right. It's a real small thing. Like happiness is like nothing, bro. Like you could get happiness fucking on Instagram, bro. Right. You get happiness for shoes in the mail. But like fulfillment is
being content.
Being content and fulfilled and feeling like you have a purpose. That is like what life truly is about. It's like such a deeper feeling than happiness. Happiness is like a fleeting, childish thing that children chase. It's an immature thing.
The crazy thing is when we talk about what we're talking about, right? Having a spiritual awakening, being content, these emotions and feelings that we have, when you try to put that into words for somebody, I could never adequately describe or put into words what that feeling is to create that feeling in you. It's like asking somebody, like, yo, what does it feel like to go skydiving? Like, I can tell you it feels awesome and it's fucking freeing and da-da-da, but you'll never know what that feels like until you experience it.
You got to do the work.
You got to do the work to experience it.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show, dude.
No doubt,
you killed it. It's so crazy because I've seen you for years. And I only know you as like Roy, like super positive, always smile. Like I've personally never seen you like down and out. I just haven't, you know? It's so interesting that you could like know someone for years and not really know their whole story, you know?
That's what I love about the show, man. There's so many people that I've learned their stories through this show.
Through the show, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, well, we're going to do a 2-parter for you.
I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, love you, bro. Thank you so much. This show is not affiliated with any specific 12-step program. If you or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, please find a local 12-step meeting. If you believe you may need detox or drug treatment of any kind, please call 833-999-1877 to speak to a specialist. This show is sponsored by United Recovery Project, a state-of-the-art drug and alcohol rehab facility. You can visit our website at unitedrecoveryproject.com.